Not only has the return of Xal'atath been confirmed in the newest cinematic, but we also have the possibility of her being the 5th old god that could be serving a goal completely independent of the other old gods and the warlords. So not only are we going to get the return of Galakrond through time, we're getting Xal'atath returning from her thousands of years exile, we're getting Queen Ashara, Iridikron, but most importantly, they're all working together to turn Azeroth into a Dark Titan to complete the awakening, a mission that we thought has long been stopped. So this entire time we've literally just been used as a pawn by Xal'atath's 200 IQ plan, and we might have just delivered the soul of Azeroth to an old god on a civil predator completely unknowingly. So what are all the hints, and did Blizzard just pull out a really brilliant storyline? Now, as WoW players, you guys have certainly tried a ton of add-ons, but Zygor is the ultimate one. It has everything from leveling, detecting your progress in real time with these waypoint arrows. You can make gold, you can do dungeons easier, professions, collectibles, achievements, pretty much all the content you can think of, and it is available for both retail and classic. And best of all, Zygor is completely free. You can try it out with my link in the description. If you guys decide to purchase it, you can get 20% off Zygor Elite with my code ORAN. So check out my link in the description and check out Zygor. This is by far the biggest reveal of Dragonflight, and I'd say the first time the main storyline actually moved in any direction in a significant way that isn't just foreshadowing all throughout this expansion. And if you guys have followed my channel for a while, you can see that the predictions weren't actually that far off, especially if you watch my old Xal'atath video, as well as the Ashara one, and right now we potentially have the biggest threat to Azeroth that we've ever had in history. Now, I know we're dealing with a world-ending threat every 2 years, but this one is like the original threat that we thought was defeated in the ages past. So to get right into the info, you have definitely seen the new cinematic from 10.1.5 dungeon, and there are two major details you should keep in mind and you should remember in this cinematic. First is the artifact that Iridikron is wielding, and the second is the reflection in the portal that is almost 100% certainly Xal'atath, and this confirms and implies two very important things. So the first important thing is the Dragon Soul that Iridikron is using. We've learned that Iridikron actually did a diversion thing in 10.1 period when he sent us to Aberrus. He didn't care about the experiments or the Drakir, he just wanted to get this artifact while we were wasting our time fighting Sarkrat. This is confirmed to be some type of a proto-original Dragon Soul, and just like how the Dragon Soul that we know was used to gather the Aspect's powers, this one is used to gather the essence of Galakrond from an alternate timeline. Now, this in itself implies two very interesting things we should keep in mind. One is that Deathwing may have been working with Xal'atath this entire time. She helped him make this artifact, and she was the writer of those documents that we had discovered a few patches ago that led him to create Shadowflame and all those experiments. And second is that Deathwing may have intended to also use this artifact for the same purpose, to gather the essence of Galakrond, but he never got to it, and we might soon learn why that was the case. However, the second, the most important, the hint is the fact that not only is Xal'atath going to return soon, but we're almost certainly getting the return of Queen Ashara and the very likely awakening of Azeroth. I mean, this is just something we've been talking about for over 10 years. Now, all of you know Xal'atath. We've literally had her in a weapon. We just thought she was some figure. She whispered to us directly on multiple occasions in different scenarios. We freed her, but we've never really known what she was. We just thought she was some type of a faceless one or just a minion. One of the theories was that she was a sacrificing weapon or a part of Y'Shaarj that remained as a living entity, and the second theory was Xal'atath was a forgotten old god that was defeated by her own, and this second theory is getting more steam than anything else, and it is starting to make a lot more sense. I've already made a really big video on her detailed whispers. You can check it out on the channel, that are pretty much foreshadowing for what is happening right now, but let's just cover a few important hints that are the most relevant. First is she constantly praises the Black Empire, which means she was obviously affiliated by it throughout all her whispers. She sees the other old gods as equals, so she wasn't a minion, she was probably like her her brother or sister, and she also kinda resents them. Additionally, Xal'atath talks about how despite working together, the old gods also fought each other, and she talks about how Y'Shaarj defeated N'Zoth in a battle, so obviously wars happened between them. So because of this, the theory was there that she might have been fighting against a coalition where Xal'atath was defeated for good, and she managed to survive within that artifact for thousands and thousands of years, and finally she has freed herself, or at least freed herself a few years back, and now is setting the ground for what is to come, and it is going to be crazy. The biggest evidence supporting this right now is the fact that in Dragonflight, Blizzard released a document that talks about 5 old gods existing. This is actually an old document from Classic that was retconned by the Chronicle, but now it was brought back once again, so like the opposite of a retcon, and with the current hints, it is heavily implied that Xal'atath may have been the 5th old god, the old god that was just written out of history. Now, only a few months back, we got the biggest evidence ever of Xal'atath being relevant, which set the foundation for her appearance in the recent cinematic, and let's not even really speculate that this is her, the Harbinger that Iridikron is talking about, as we literally see her figure, which is the exact same figure as the old cinematic from a few years back. So, little while ago, we got this hint that talked about Queen Azshara returning from the Veil of the Void, and it also mentioned 3 lines that I think is essentially talking about how Dragonflight is going to play out within the next patch or 2 and in the very near future. The Harbinger speaks of a primal power that seeks the end of order. Such rage can be bent to serve our ends. A hunger lost to the ages will be reclaimed. A dark heart left broken awaits the taking. Okay, so first of all, obviously, Harbinger is Xal'atath. In the newest cinematic, Iridikron says that the Harbinger will take the world from the grasp of the Titans. The old document is from a Void perspective. It talks about how Xal'atath says the primal power, aka Iridikron, seeks the end of order, and they can bend his rage to their will, which is exactly what is happening right now. Then, it mentions a hunger lost to the ages that will be reclaimed. This is obviously the most obvious hint. I mean, Galakrond has the hunger, Alexstrasza mentioned the hunger, Iridikron literally traveled through time, captured the essence of Galakrond, we've seen the model of Galakrond, Iridikron literally told us that the hunger won't be lost to the ages, so obviously this is the hunger. However, the last part is the most important one. The dark heart left broken awaits the taking is actually the biggest hint that a lot of people have actually overlooked, and this almost certainly refers to Azeroth, the world soul of Azeroth. First of all, the Whisper is very similar to the Il'gynoth one, which was implying that it was talking about Azeroth. Her heart is a crater, we have filled it. However, the Azshara document continues after this, and it says this: when these things come to pass, the Harbinger will fulfill the final prophecy and complete the awakening. So, let's put 2 and 2 together. We've got the heart left broken, aka the world soul that was almost corrupted by the old gods. Then the Titans barged in and stopped the completion of the process. Now, the Harbinger will return and complete the awakening, so essentially continue where the old gods and the Black Empire left off. However, in my opinion, the most intriguing fact out of all of these is that we should consider that Xal'atath seems to be behind these plans directly. Not N'Zoth, not Y'Shaarj, not Yogg-Saron. All these old gods have been hinted at throughout Dragonflight, but Xal'atath seems to be the main person, and this could actually have really serious implications for the storyline. If you guys remember that Blizzard interview from a few months back, Blizzard said 2 really important things. First is that the Bronze Dragonflight may not really be the best guys out there. They're trying to protect this one Titan affiliated timeline, while the Infinites are looking to free everyone and explore all the possibilities, obviously on sort of a gray area. Second is that the old gods are inherently chaotic, and while they were originally servants and weapons of the Void Lords, they were literally created by them to corrupt world souls, they may have developed different goals and completely free themselves, so they could be looking to do something completely different than their original purpose. So let's combine this with what is going on. First, the Infinites are obviously behind this entire order and are working with Xal'atath and Iridikron directly. Second is that if Xal'atath is an old god, she may not be working to bring in the Void Lords, but she may be seeking to take the power of Azeroth for herself alone, and her selfish goals. Finally, knows if Xal'atath is even working with the old gods. If she really was defeated and imprisoned by them in the past, she might be looking to remove them and absorb their essence and to become like this super old god. So the entire plan could be a sole orchestration of Xal'atath and Xal'atath alone, and her plans to consume the world soul of Azeroth, which could honestly turn out to be completely interesting if they do it right. However, it is also likely that they might find strength in numbers, and now, not only are we going to be dealing with the old gods combined attacking the World Soul, but we might be in for a full-on Void Lord invasion of Azeroth, which will change everything. Thank you for watching. Check out the possibility of Void Paladins coming as a new spec by clicking on the screen, and check out Honors Academy for videos on real-world history. See you next time.